Good evening, everybody.
Wonder at what point do they actually hear us
welcome to Totalitarian Tuesday. Livingston, man, hit the cameras, my friend. Booyah! Totalitarian Tuesday is back. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Let's see. Scotty Hummer, what's happening, my friend? How are you? Betty Lou, Wolfang, Coffee First Then Speak, GSP in the house, Hunter25, the moderator, Wolfang, Greenleaf, Mad Mama in the house, Ghost Lincoln, what's happening, my brother? How are you? Prepping Mantis is here. My mother Spark, what's happening, sister? How are you? Hope everybody's doing well. Let us know how the audio sounds. We've got some
5x5.
Yeah, we've got some new some new microphones. Yeah. We bought some new microphones. We're trying out. I don't know if you can see the little square on my chest, but it's holding a wireless lapel mic in there. You can kind of make it out. It looks like I should have moved it over a little bit. I could have dotted the I.
Mine's just in my pocket.
WTC, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Big Joe Casulas, what's happening, my friend? Mad Chad, what's cracking?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Vision, what's good? All right, cool. So they sound good. Fantastic. Wolfgang says loud and clear.
They
Love it.
feel good, you know?
Yeah, they're tiny, too. Little tiny wireless microphones. Was it DJI makes them?
CIA stuff, you guys.
Yeah,
really cool.
Fantastic, man.
Really cool. It comes in a little box. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Tank Houston, my brother.
What's happening, Tank? Pagan Prepper, y'all are stepping up in the world. Yeah. I mean, well, this is going to help a lot with on-location filming for us, where you can't always be, right here talking into a camera, and I can be a distance away from the camera, and you guys will still be able to hear me clear as day, even from, oh man, it was quite a distance away.
I mean, even when his microphone was on and mine wasn't, it was still like picking me up talking. So
yeah.
Listen, you're a VTuber, whatever they call us, YouTuber.
Yeah,
vlogger.
if you have earphones in, or if you're listening in a vehicle, I know Tracy K drives around and listens to us in the evening. I'm interested to know if I am coming through one speaker and the Livingston man is coming through another. That is a question I have for you. Or are we blended? Are we blended perfectly like it should be?
Ideally, you want to be hearing both of us in
both sides. Mr. B Local, what's happening, my friend? How are you? Did you guys take over one of CP's warehouses? No, I figure this is the gulag that they'll probably waterboard me in when they eventually take us over someday and invade. Yeah, I'm not going down without a fight.
It's a pretty cool place.
Yeah.
So we decided to set
up
shop for
It's hollow. I think you were actually in a live stream from this place once upon a time, right? You'd have to look way back. But yeah, Livingston Man was in a gulag at one point in time. And we did a live stream. They gave them, proof of life. So we'll give you an hour on the stream.
They said we're in both ears. That's perfect.
Oh, sweet, fantastic. Rapture ready. Thank you so much.
I'm happy that 125 came by. I don't know if he was just having a bad day. He's trying to rustle Jimmy's, but whatever the case.
Oh, hey.
I'm glad he came by, and I'm glad that he's out here hanging out. It's my good buddy right there.
He was just mean to me. That's all. He says you were mean to him.
I was?
Yeah, there it is.
Wow.
There it is. You're mean. You're a big meanie.
And I know what he's talking about, and without addressing it, so this way me and him, it's an inside joke. That dumb shit that I said, what I thought before I posted it was...
I want to trigger some people.
No, it was, I know this one's going to bite somebody, and I'm sorry it was you. I knew it was going to get somebody.
Well, hey, everybody's got their hot button. He says you hurt me today. Everybody's got their ouchie buttons. Old Mutt, welcome. Scott, welcome. My man Marco in the house. So, speaking of getting hurt, a lot of people fitting to get hurt right in the feels. If they ban that damn TikTok, am I right?
Who?
So actually, TikTok. Has basically turned into the Chinese YouTube, right? The Chinese YouTube, we'll say. And TikTok has a lot of people who make money on TikTok. They have so many subscribers. They are influencers, and TikTok is their vessel, all right? That's what they use to make income. Much like YouTube, once you're monetized, you can make a little bit of money off of YouTube, pending your views and things like that. Just like that, people are, it's become a second income, or in some cases, a first income for folks. To me, honestly, it's no different than your Instagram, your YouTube Shorts, all these different things. They're all the same. This one just happens to be made by a company in China who tends to steal all the data off all the devices that it's connected to, because China makes backdoors into things.
And
right?
you know what? And you know what? The problem is that is the exclusive purvey of the United States government. And
Yes.
they'll be darned to heck if some Chinese company gonna do the same thing. They're already doing
That's right.
to you.
Yeah, so let's just talk about the NSA for a minute, right? The NSA is in everything. We know all this. Edward Snowden, thank you. We know all this, because
Nobody
people,
cares. Nobody
people
cares.
talked.
Nobody cares.
Let's see. James Carroll, welcome from Copake, right down the road.
You know what I mean? That was the thing. When all these whistleblowers come out, they risk their life. This dude had to go live in Russia because they were going to put him in jail because of what he told us.
Now he's probably, in the meat grinder.
He's behind that. This leak that happened. I mean, there's a guy in Russia that's perfectly capable of doing this.
That's right.
His name is Edward Snowden.
So this
Whistleblowers. Okay, traitors, or indeed whistleblowers.
So some people see it as immediately traitor. Other people see it immediately as this guy's like a freedom fighter, right? I mean, he showed everybody behind the curtain what was really going on. He did nothing.
He showed them what their money was paying for.
He gave them nothing but facts and let them decide for yourselves how you felt about it. And I can respect that. He did what journalists are supposed to do.
Yes, true.
Right?
True that.
And, the guy he literally has to live in exile the rest of his life.
Jay Creature blows whistles. Sorry. That's gold.
No, Jay Creature, I am definitely not siding with China. I think it's funny that the U.S. is really pissed off that, like Livingston Man said, this is basically what the U.S. does, but they gave us an app that gives them this crap into it.
Now, we were talking about this earlier. So what this new law, you presented it to me, and that's about as far as I know about it, is that it's like Patriot Act for electronic stuff. What they want to do is all the stuff that Edward Snowden warned us about, with all this spying and PRISM and all these weird programs.
Yeah, that they've been doing like covertly in the back room, like not really legal, bro. We can't really do this. So
what they want to do is make it legal. So this way here, it's clean, and now they can be like, oh yeah, well, see, it was legal.
Yeah, we've been watching, we've been listening.
And then they get to pull up your 20-year-old tweets, and we're all going to hell anyway for what we said, and we all know.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I'm like, FBI's like, you know what you said? I'd be like, oh shit, you guys seen that? Did you like it at least? Did you like comment? Did you like and subscribe at least?
Hey, they always watching, but they never like him.
Well, it's the one you least suspect, so we can figure that out from these comments here, I figure.
No, I figure they just come and watch and don't comment.
I got some ideas.
There's always,
A bot, it takes a bot to spot a bot.
Yes, Granite State Prepper, again, this is like the Patriot Act for the internet. It is wrapped up as a TikTok ban, but it really is total government control over the internet, the things you see, your literal keystrokes on your computer. This is some dystopian shit that they're pushing forward. And it's rough, man. It's rough. Why they always got to push the 1984 button every time? Livingston, man, why it got to be like that, bro?
Well, it's a good book, for one.
Yeah, but why they got to keep hitting the button?
Well, because what Orwell described, what he described is like a perfect system from a power-hungry person's or cabal's standpoint. Because it's really about like the separation of privileges. 1984 boils down to class distinction. Really, the dystopian nightmare is the reality, but the distinction is drawn right down the middle between the inner party and the outer party. Like, and then there's like a third, the worker class.
Right.
The worker class didn't have to do all the crazy shit that the political people did. They had a lottery. They were very much like us. All they wanted to do was sing songs, drink beer, watch sports, and play the lottery.
Hey.
Dumbed down, and they would never rise up because of this. They were kept happy with their bread and circus. Then you had the outer party, which were like the foot soldiers. I'm not going to liken them to Antifa, but like people who like vote and are like tricked by the message, you know, like the lie. They buy it. They
absolutely
hook, line, and sinker. And then there's the inner party, the people who are like given vastly improved privileges and conditions in their lives and power. And it's drawn right down the middle of that. They're different, and there is no room for any social mobility.
Mm-hmm.
What you are is what you will be, and that's it. So it describes kind of like our society, really.
Yep.
Is that by design? Is this art? Is this life imitating art? Is someone using it as an instruction manual? Because it really seems like it.
Livingston, man, could you bring up our first article on this evening?
Is it this?
No. We have to go back here. Yeah, we can start on this one, and we'll roll on from here. So the first article we're going to bring you guys tonight is from Al Jazeera, and this is all about the TikTok ban. Now, I want you guys to know...
I'm going to go ahead and allow all the cookies, so let's see what happens.
Oh boy, here we go.
Here it goes.
Rand Paul has blocked a bid to fast-track the ban of TikTok, citing concerns about free speech and uneven treatment of social media companies. So typically when Rand Paul raises the bill, any of the Pauls, if it was his father, Ron Paul, he was definitely one to let people know what was going on behind the scenes, right? He always read the fine print.
They used to be like, sort of labeled like libertarians when that was a thing, like, or true Republicans. Like they're always lobbying for like smaller government, get your like fist out of the people's butt. Type of message.
Yeah.
Your classic, like, small government republicanism. Both the Pauls share this belief.
Right.
So when either of the Pauls, like, comes out against something, I tend to listen.
Yeah, I at least want to hear what they have to say. So he goes on to say, we should be aware of those who use fear to coax Americans to relinquish our liberties. Right? This is how they do it. They scare you into TikTok. They're stealing all your information, right? They're stealing everything from us. So we have to relinquish our freedom to be able to protect us from what?
Have you guys ever seen TikTok? Explain to me what like national security risk is happening on TikTok. Because all I see Jody Jackson maybe.
Here,
Outlaw Jackson, like, okay, his TikTok channel is probably exactly what the Chinese are using to mine all they can.
So it's not the front door of TikTok that's the problem, right? So as I said earlier, they like to create back doors into things that they make, right? So China makes this, and you download the app on your device, right? So I downloaded the app on my phone. Now I go home. I watched a few TikToks at work during lunch. No big deal. Ha ha ha. I had a couple laughs. I go home and my phone links to my PC. Mm-hmm. Now they have access to as soon as I downloaded the app, they had access to everything on this device right here. As soon as I got home, they had access to my entire computer. And anything that's on.
We're doing here right now.
Yeah. But to think that the government already isn't in your stuff is foolish in my mind.
2 cameras. 3 microphones.
They just
2 cell phones.
They're listening.
Everybody's worried about TikTok.
So
and an Alexa to boot. Okay.
Well, yeah.
I like to be secure.
Yeah, they're everywhere. But you know, when Rand Paul is ringing the bell, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. They're looking to make the use of a VPN network, which a lot of people use in gaming to play with their friends overseas, right? You want to be on the same network as them. Everything jives much better. So you use a VPN network in their country to stream your internet through to be on the same page as folks. That would be, I think, like a felony underneath this new law. To use a VPN or to obscure your location is a problem.
Right. VPN can be used for that. Some gamers use it to unlock features that are like, say I live in Australia, but like...
Oh yeah, you can't get the Australian patch for your Call of Duty guy because you're not in Australia.
Right. Or so you can use a VPN, and people use it as a general rule. Ironically, in this case, is for security. They're glitching me because I'm about to speak truth. And so the idea that it would now be a felony to, what a VPN can essentially do, in a nutshell, I'm generalizing, is obscure your digital footprints. Now, I feel like a person using this for totally benign purposes, like they just want to game with their buddies in Australia,
again,
do a thing, there's one thing. Now, if you're
everything in the world can be used for nefarious purposes if you have nefarious means, right? Everything from this bell, right? The bell is just a...
I think there's criminal use and then there's like not criminal use.
Exactly.
To do a blanket legislation that just allows you to not do that.
To think that there's not a backdoor in this device that was made in China already.
They're listening to us.
To think that there's not a backdoor in the microphones I bought from China. You know, the U.S. government stopped DJI drone use anywhere near military facilities because they know that China has a backdoor into all electronics they send here. And if you turn on a Chinese camera, they're watching through it. They use cameras like better than anybody else. They have millions and millions of cameras. I know Angry did a thing on the cameras in China and the numbers. I don't remember what it is, but they're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. And it's, hey man, it's beyond totalitarian in my mind if they are gonna do this kind of ban. The VPN thing is just what really freaks me out. Could you pop that one up for me, Livingston Man? Next one in line.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Ching.
20 years in jail under the new Restrict Act.
The TikTok ban. Okay.
Yeah.
Bill dubbed the Restrict Act that was submitted to Congress could have severe consequences for virtual private network users in the United States. The newly introduced legislation targets technology associated with a select group of foreign adversaries of the U.S., specifically identifies 6 countries within this category, including China, encompassing Hong Kong and Macau, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Russia, and Venezuela. So if you're using social media or VPNs based in those countries...
You're bad, bro. You're bad.
Well, because most people, I guess, I don't know what this means, but this is a step in the wrong direction at any rate.
Yeah.
This is government overreach into now what is the global community of the internet.
That's right. That's right. Smoke and Swamp, welcome, welcome, welcome. Terry Johnson, welcome, sister. Good to see you this evening. Yeah. Eric says, get your long distance hole puncher.
It blacks it out when I try to do a product.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
It's a Pabst Blue Ribbon. Okay, you
Eric
can never
says,
take that
get
away
your
from
long distance hole puncher before, where'd it go? There it is. Long distance hole puncher before June. What happens in June? Talk to me, Eric, talk to me. They change stuff here so fast. It's disgusting.
They don't tell us. When we live in New York, they pass laws, they don't tell you.
No, they do them, 3 guys in a back room, middle of the night, 1 o'clock in the morning. Boom, hey, total government takeover. Welcome to New Yorkistan.
Now, to be honest, hello, Robert Lenahan and Robert Winslow. But now, anyway, as per my personal opinion on the matter, I've seen TikToks. I don't use it.
Okay.
I've seen other people. The only thing I even know about TikTok is because someone else was gracious enough to post something they saw, and then I've seen it. It doesn't bother me, except that in the case of them doing this to TikTokers, then there's nothing stopping them from doing it to Telegrammers, to YouTubers, especially like these Telegram guys. and the Truth Social people, and like, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
everybody. A lot of people are using VPNs for non-nefarious purposes. In fact, like anti-doxing.
Yeah.
Because that's how the easiest way for people to be like, I don't like what he said, and they get your fucking address and pictures of your house and fucking.
Oh yeah, and then they
go
they're
crazy.
they're sending the protesters to your door.
It's a real thing that can really happen.
Yeah.
And excuse my language just then, but it's because I got excited because it's a thing that can actually happen.
Yeah.
And people use VPNs as a sort of private security. Now we are faced with the choice of our own government would rather we're not allowed to protect ourselves from that out there.
Not on the internet.
Another example, it's like a gun-free zone, but on the internet. We put up a sign, you can't do that now.
So Jay Creature, I agree. We are oversimplifying the this Restrict Act. Absolutely, we're oversimplifying it.
We're supposed to, if that's how it's been presented to us.
It is very big. It is very complicated. It's very scary. It's very scary. This will be the framework, I believe, that will bring about the death of cryptocurrencies. So any app that you use is connected to the internet, right? So this is much bigger than controlling just an app like TikTok. This is every app. Anything that accesses the internet will be controlled by the Restrict Act. And obviously, the government's just going to route everything through the NSA centers, and any of those keywords will get you a knock on the door, maybe. Who knows?
No, yeah, but the word for it is censorship. When it has to go through an authority first, and then you're allowed to see it, the truth and what really happened becomes blurred, and that's the goal.
Texas Surplus Pro, I agree. He says that many people will not be able to participate in the public square. Yes.
That's what the internet is. For better or worse, you can fucking fight to the death in the comments with some dude you'll never know in your life and not win, and neither of you says anything important but the fact that you can do it. You can debate in that giant public square that is the internet and social media. They want to rein that in and make sure only proper right think is.
Yeah, that's all there is. Scott says that VPNs are commonly used by businesses. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. Cool Colt, welcome. Totalitarian Tuesday. Man, I don't.
Takes a bot to know a bot.
The slippery slope, right? We're sliding down it. Every day we inch a little bit closer to the total government takeover of all things. I think it's almost an inevitability at this point, given what seems to be on the horizon, right? What's our venue tonight, Robert? This is probably where they will waterboard me when they capture me eventually. Yeah, I'll be tortured somewhere.
Fun fact, this is actually like
somewhere over.
This is where I was built.
Here, somewhere over there. The gulag. We're in the gulag.
I first came to life, like actually it's behind my chair.
Yeah. Texas Surplus Pro, I couldn't agree more. This is everything government related. When it's for the people, they really don't seem to do much, and they don't seem to do much fast. When it's about more control, more power, for them, it's done immediately. Immediately, we have to pass. Message of necessity is the words that they will use.
They did this whole.
We've heard that before here in New York.
Out of abundance of caution are words. That's
out of an abundance of caution or a message of necessity. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. That's the hangar that the lizard people live in, says Jay Creature.
I was built here. This is where I was built,
Yeah.
bringing it all back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, this, especially with the advent of these new AIs and whatnot, and already, like, whether you want to admit it or not, like, everybody, like, poops on, like, Alexas and Google Homes. And,
Everything's listening to you all the time.
they're always
man.
listening. If you have a cell phone...
Jim
like,
Wilson, welcome.
Listen, pro tip, and I don't know if anybody figured this out yet, but you know how the drone strikes work?
Yeah, there it is, GPS. Coffee first, then speak. Have a wonderful evening. We will see you when we see you.
So stop worrying about like whether they're listening to you, and stop worrying about what you're saying. And what we need to do is start being like, you know what, we can't allow this. Like, at what point do we as Americans and as even global citizens?
So
this, whatever is at work here is at work everywhere. It's not just America.
Correct.
It's not just Ukraine.
No, it's globally. It's globally. It's the global connected individual.
And what do we do?
This is the matrix, Livingston, man. The internet is the matrix.
Now, of course, we want to exist here in this space. We like what the things we have.
At some point, it's always been
this modern world
an inevitability to me that at some point we're going to have to unplug from the matrix and, go back into the woods and make mud and rock language, right? It's going to have to happen at some point. At some point, all of this fancy stuff and technology that we have is going to come to an end. And we're going to have to rough it from now on, right?
I'm at like 89% completion on Red Dead Redemption.
Don't take this from me. Don't take it from me.
It's going to be that shit in the top of my helmet. Like, remember what they took from you. We all love the modern age could be great. Like, I don't see why we couldn't, instead of fucking mud and rock language, we could like ascend and become like something better. But it's presented as like this will be done by force. That we are going to be dragged along kicking and screaming for better or worse. And I believe it is so that a chosen few can acquire power and profit. Like you said, it's not for us. The people. It's for
no.
the mythical them.
So, like we've talked about before, when the teachers used to tell you this is going to go on your permanent record, right? Now your permanent record is every time you open your mouth. It's not when somebody writes something down and says, dude was an asshole, he doesn't listen. It's worse than that. It's worse than that because there's a log of everything you said and everything you did and every place you've been as long as you have this tracking device on you.
That permanent record your teachers warned you about is real. It's real.
So I saw recently how accurately these phones can track an individual.
It's how the drone strikes work.
When the U.S. actually, well, it was closer than that. It was the drone struck a Taliban guy somewhere, and he was
put it right through the window.
He was on a motorcycle. Yeah, he was on a motorcycle, and a motorcycle through the woods, and they got him.
He tried to outrun a Hellfire missile. Godspeed. He tried, and for that we'll remember him.
Yeah, let's see. Outlaw says the NDAA. Yeah, that's some stuff, man. You start diving into that stuff, you got to get the tinfoil hat out, bro.
What's that non-dairy association agency? I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Like, why are you so lactose intolerant? How about just tolerate it?
Catskill Prepper, welcome. Good to see you, sister.
I don't know what the NDAA is. What's that?
That's the North...
Non-disclosure agreement?
North...
Assembly?
No, it's the National Defense Authorization Act. NDAA.
Where they can just do what they want.
Well, that's basically what it tells them. Livingston, man, what else do we have on tap here this evening?
You were mad about...
I wasn't mad about that. Okay, all right.
So there's a deadly volcano in the Western Hemisphere.
It's actually the deadliest volcano in history in the Western Hemisphere. This volcano has already killed, at least in modern history, at least 25,000 people.
In fact,
and it's showing signs of increased activity.
In 1985, it caused the death of more than 25,000 people.
Yeah.
Similar in scale to the Mount St. Helens eruption in Washington State. So we take you to Bogota, Colombia, where experts say a volcano responsible for causing one of the largest disasters in the Western Hemisphere is showing signs of increased activity, which has forced the Colombian government to issue evacuations in the potential impact zone.
Yep, the sucker was smoking the other day. There was steam popping out of it. Scary stuff.
They've raised the alert level to orange, which is the second highest on a 4-stage scale. 11,600 earthquakes were detected. Yeah,
man, they get these swarms, and then it's a sign of things to come. And the increased solar activity, I think, is really going to ramp these volcanic activities up even further. The earthquakes, things like that. Man, the sun and the earth are so connected. When it does weird things, weird things happen here.
I mean, let's see here. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the last major eruption occurred during a time of major political discourse, whatever relevance that has.
Okay.
The nighttime event was obscured by a significant storm, so people actually didn't really know that it was happening.
Right, thunder and lightning and everything else.
Within minutes, quote from the USGS here, within minutes, 23,000 people, most of the town's inhabitants, were killed entombed within a concrete-like mixture of mud, vegetation, buildings, and everything else swept away by the lahar. A lahar is a
mud flow.
Yes.
Mud flow.
Superheated. Sadly, the lahars reached Armero approximately 2 hours after the eruption, plenty of time for the people to have evacuated had they been notified more quickly.
Now, Vision, I agree with you. I was going to save this one for We All Gonna Die Wednesday, but if this sucker goes, it's big enough that the top of it could land somewhere in Canada if it really goes. So it's something to really pay attention to. And being that it's in the Western Hemisphere, although it's in the Southern Hemisphere, I don't know that we would see ash from that thing, given the equator.
No, probably not. But still,
this is shitty, man.
Any volcanic eruption, although they happen all day, all the time, they add CO2 to the environment. They can black out the sun. They can cause climate effects based on how much smoke or whatever soot they give off, or how much fallout blows out of the thing. A significant volcanic eruption is always something to pay attention to. It can cause not necessarily problems directly.
Oh, indirectly, man.
But sure, later on you get these years without a summer and stuff.
Yeah, that's terrible stuff, man. Terrible stuff. Mid-Georgia Preparedness says, DC. That's where he wants the cap of the mountain to land. Hey, only if they're all in there at the same time, right?
They never are they?
Yeah. We're all going to die on a day that ends in Y. You're absolutely right, Ghost Lincoln. Absolutely right. Rapture Ready says, at some point the sun will be blotted out for a period of time. It was written and it will come to pass. God wrote it, not Orwell. Yeah, and it's happened before. It's happened before. Actually, there's a solar eclipse coming soon, depending upon where you're sitting on the globe. Right, you get those, what do they call them, the paths of totality, where you see the full eclipse and then it's partial everywhere else. But it happens. But I think it's going to be a little more long-term when it does, something like a volcanic winter, a nuclear winter. And I think we need to keep an eye on places like the New Madrid fault line. That thing's pretty dangerous. That hasn't gone off in a long time. And with all this pressure and stuff moving around from all these other big earthquakes, the one in Turkey was just huge. And you look opposite side of the earth from that, and you're kind of getting in our direction.
So, there's an antipode, they call it, like when, say, an asteroid or a bolide thing from outer space hits the planet. Wherever it hits, there's an exact opposite on the other side.
Yep.
And if it's large enough, it can
have effect on the other side of the planet.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, not only that, but in terms of a prepping and survival situation, I promise you that your direct, real problem will be Mother Nature, rather than, before you deal with nuclear war, EMP, even asteroids and comets, you're going to deal with an earthquake, a volcano, a hurricane, you name it. That's going to be your real problem. And for my Bible people in here, indeed it talks about how this kind of thing is going to start to happen. That the seas start to boil and all the fish float dead and all kinds of apocalyptic stuff that is presented to us as news. But this 2,000 or more year old document already spoke of it and in fact said that it would happen.
Yeah.
So whichever way you are on that, know that the world is not.
It's all connected somehow.
The
right?
world is
it's all connected somehow.
If I had to place the world on a red to green scale, I would put the world at a
orange,
yellow going into orange.
Definitely orange.
We're burning up.
Let's see.
Metaphorically here.
Cool Colt says we are safe here in the Hudson Valley from everything but ourselves. Ghost Lincoln, thank you so much for your donation, bro. We really appreciate it. So, Cool Colt, I would say in the Hudson Valley here, we are safe from most things. We do get the occasional tornado here. Hurricanes, flooding is probably high on the list of natural disasters here in the Hudson Valley. Flooding is a big one. And then I would say our next biggest threat here would be forest fires. If we had a big forest fire. I've seen a couple
tire fires.
I've seen some forest fires.
I've seen like things that shouldn't be burning on fire plenty of times.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen no forest fire. I see like they call it brush fire.
Ghost Lincoln says for production. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. We'll put it right into the production crew. There he is right there. Production crew.
Thanks, bud. Vision's behind the curtain.
Yeah.
You guys know.
Yeah. He's our guitar player. He hides behind the curtain until we cue him.
I'm actually left-handed. You guys thought I was actually playing the guitar. That's no, whichever side of the fence you're on about, like whether you think like this is SHTF
right.
in slow-mo, or whether it's the tribulation, the end times, like whatever, like the hard times that are creating hard men. We are totally there, and you're totally right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is weak times create hard men.
Excuse me. Hard times create hard men. I mean, same thing, but is it the same thing?
Livingston, man, could you pull up the browser for me?
Browser.
Pull up the browser
what
for me.
What you want now, boy?
Okay. We had a couple other things.
That's what I was going to call it up from here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
We're
sir.
going to talk about the poverty.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
So CNBC put out a new poll, and they are saying that 70% of American families are financially stressed right now.
They said it. CNBC.
We know that the inflation is hitting everybody and everything. Everything costs more. Our money is worth less and less every day. Yeah, you come with a smug grin because she got on TV. But 70% of folks are having a hard time, man. They're strapped for cash, and things aren't getting better. So it's a big reason why we do the in-person events for free, because not everybody can afford it, and it costs a lot of money to do things. So if you guys are coming out to the event, keep in mind it's free. If you can afford to donate to the Hornet's Nest, please do, even if it's $1. Chuck $1 to Bob. He donates the property to us, and I always like to give him a donation before I leave.
Yeah. When you come to the event, there will be a conspicuously labeled container, and
possibly, or we'll just pass the boot around the campfire. Yeah. Well, whatever the case is.
That being said,
but free, man, because man, money sucks anymore.
Quote, let's see, Bruce McClary, a senior vice president at the National Federation for Credit Counseling, said, people are worried the money they've saved won't last and are worried they're going to have to lean more on their credit cards and other sources of debt just to get by.
Yep.
Because the cost of the basic household expenses, rent, groceries, and utilities, are all higher than a year ago, weakening consumers' purchasing power. 60% of respondents cited inflation as the main contributor to their financial stress, followed by economy-wide instability, 43% of them, rising interest rates, 36%, and a lack of savings, 35% of people who, now, these are always skewed. They call up 1,000 people.
Yeah, and then they base their numbers off of that.
And then they say 70% of these people. So any poll, unless you answered it too and so did I, a little grain of salt.
Yeah.
But yes, as a general rule, like these are high numbers.
Yeah, people are hurting, man.
70% of people are like, listen, my money ain't worth what it used to.
So we talked about my theory on the inflation station, right? And how we're keeping our money from hyperinflating.
How about you remind in case I missed it?
Okay, so my theory is the BRICS, right? Everybody's getting together. They're all ditching the dollar. They're buying things for anything but a U.S. dollar. They'll take any kind of currency as long as it's not a U.S. dollar. So all those U.S. dollars have to come back home at some point. So how can we, as a nation, get rid of a shitload of cash all this money's coming home, and if we don't do something with it,
these wheelbarrows full of Reichsmarks we printed.
What are we going to do? What are we
during the
going to do?
pandemic,
What are we
man?
going to do with these billions and billions of dollars?
We have too much money.
We need to like
Get
set
rid of
it
it.
all on fire, Livingston, man. Do you guys know any place we could like burn up a whole lot of money like real quick and just like throw it? And they're like, why are you throwing all of this money here? Why would you throw all of this money away? Anybody know any place we might be able to do that? I don't know. We need like a money furnace just to throw it into and just watch it all get burnt up, you know? I mean, yeah, equipment, whatever we can throw in there, let's just throw it in there and burn it all up. Is there like a big giant incinerator somewhere in the world we could throw this into? I know where there's one. There's one over in, oh, there it is. Mad Mama says it. Ukraine. Yep. So, you take your wheelbarrows full of cash over there and you dump them out, and they, send them back into the system so that money doesn't come home. You got to burn it up. Right? So
It seems that
that's my theory. That's a Mike from Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival theory. That's not real, guys.
A bunch of people are rather specific.
Conspiracy.
A bunch of people are rather specific, but James Carroll, I like his actually the most, war
Yes,
in general.
yes.
Do you want to know why Americans don't have free health care? Because we have F-35s.
Yes, because we have
And
the biggest
do
defense
all
budget
our
on the
allies.
planet.
And because we can give M1 tanks to Ukraine for free. Just here you go, bud. Here's a $30 million vehicle. Cool, man.
Let's send them 10 or 12 of them. Just push them on over there, man.
If you, as a tax-paying American citizen, need some dental work done, I'm sorry,
No,
buddy,
bro.
it's going to
No,
cost you.
yeah.
Or you know what we can do is we can
have to
put
dig in your pocket.
We can slap this ball and chain called debt onto you.
Well, we live in a debt-based society, so the more debt you have, the better you're standing, Livingston, man. You're not cool unless you're $5 million in debt.
Everything you own, actually, you don't. The bank does.
Yeah.
That's the American dream right there. You actually don't, and you will own nothing and you will be happy. I hate to tell you this, guys. A lot of America already owns nothing in that context.
Well, yeah.
And is happy.
I guess the credit card companies still own it until you pay those off, right?
Listen, okay, so no one is coming to repossess your mountain house, your survival stuff, your bug out bag, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
Buy real shit with the fake money now. For the love of God, please. While you still can.
Hey, man.
We have recurring themes here, and some of these things we will come back to. And mine is buy real stuff with the fake money now. It will not last forever, and while that, swipe it till it's gone.
Just keep going, man. Just keep going.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Come and get in?
Max the plastic. No, I didn't say it. Don't do
Max
that. Don't
the
do that. I
plastic.
am not.
Run the banks.
I am not a financial
Hunter,
advisor.
Hunter,
and,
we're
and
running
you don't.
the banks.
You don't want me.
Run
You don't want me in
the
charge
banks.
of finances.
Run the banks.
You'd have a bunch of preparedness stuff, and then you wouldn't have anything.
All right, calm down.
Anything else?
Whenever you have money, just buy real stuff with it.
Well, hey, again, I want to get back to the fight, rage against the machine, bro. Right? We gotta fight this system. I keep saying it.
Should we vote harder next time?
No, just spend cash, man. Spend cash. They give you that digital thing that they transfer to the digital bank, and you don't even get to see your money. You just swipe the card and it disappears, right? And it just subtracts from your account, and you don't ever see that stuff. Go see that stuff. Go touch it. Go put cash in your hand and spend it at the store. Make them give you change back. Make the system work, because every time we swipe our card, we're playing into their hands, and we're literally begging for the digital system, right? We're begging for it.
I don't even swipe a card. I go beep beep with my smartwatch.
See, it's even worse. It's even worse. Now you're not even attached to your card anymore. It's just I'll just NFC, man, bloop, and I'm out of here. See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fight the system, man. Use cash. You got paid. Go and put that money in your hand and feel it and say, there it is. There it is. Granite State says touch grass. Whew. For real, man.
I mean,
For real.
I put like It censors
It doesn't even
everything I'm
work.
trying to
Yeah,
show
yeah,
them.
no
Like, they
AI.
look
You
like
got to
I
put it
bought
in front of your face.
Real things with the real money. Like,
Yeah.
well, excuse me.
It's
Listen, you were paying with cash the other day, and I was like looking at you like funny because I'm like, really, I'm gonna come in here and give like, you're like, I paid cash. I'm like, this is McDonald's.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I'm paying
keep
cash,
my
man.
dollars
Yeah.
local. I'm like, that's the
it.
opposite.
No, it's not. It's not even local.
You
It's
paid
just
cash
that
at McDonald's
Yeah.
and tried to justify it like you did some righteous thing.
they were like upset that they had to come out of the back and take money from me and put it in the register. It was,
Poor
it
people at
felt good,
McDonald's.
man. It felt good. Felt good. Everybody else over
How
at
can
the
we rage against the
little
machine? Let's
kiosk
go give
making
cash
sure
to McDonald's.
that your kid will never work at McDonald's because he's been replaced by a machine. So they go to the machine and they order their Big Macs and Whopper Juniors and freaking your onion
Hello,
rings and your
kiosk.
French fries.
I love this thing.
Bro.
You know the kiosk don't judge you. The kiosk has all day. Take your time, sweetheart, said the kiosk. Meanwhile, you go to a human, they're like, and you get it wrong, and you're like, thanks. You know, the kiosk always does his job, never complains. Well, I want a robot McDonald's to go there and be like, sweet, why should people have to do that job? What do you do in life?
What?
I stand at McDonald's and like,
Hey man, when they were standing at the counter doing, so I guess that the counter folks were the ones who fought for the $15 an hour, right?
people shouldn't have
So
to.
now they're all gone. They're all gone. They've all been replaced by the kiosk. That's what you
Did
do.
they make the product cheaper? No, hell no.
No, they charge you
no.
it's like $30
They're
in
like-
some places for
they
a
literally,
freaking value
like,
meal,
in an
man.
effort to provide you with lower costs, we like deleted all the employees. You're like, but you didn't lower the cost, though. I seen you. I saw you. You didn't lower the cost.
Oh
They
man.
never do. And like, you know what? I feel like that places like that, like human beings should not have to work in retail. It sounds terrible to me. Like I wouldn't do it.
Deal with people all day.
No, I
every
go
day.
live in the woods. They're like, you need to get a job at working at like a department store, or you need to live in the woods. And guess where I'm going? Because I don't much care for the public. So God bless everybody. If you do that in here, you deal with the general public and not just like any general public, but the general public.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Well, there's some
Can't do
places
it.
now,
I
Livingston,
think that
man,
people shouldn't have to do that. People are like, I want a cashier at my Walmart. Well, check yourself out. I'm not doing that either. Damn. You awful special, ain't you, at Walmart? Listen, Queen, calm down.
Some places will not even accept cash anymore.
Some places
You
won't even let
cannot
the
pay-
cashiers have a chair.
You cannot
Why
pay in
should they
cash.
have
Now,
to-
last I knew, it says right on my cash that this is for all debts, public and private, legal tender. You have to accept it if I owe you money for something, right? It says that. Print it right on my money. It says that. You got to take it. And then even the government themselves, you go to take a tour someplace, a museum, something like that, cash only, or a card only. They do not accept cash. They will not take cash because they're too afraid that they're probably going to get robbed for it later.
Well, you know, in a place like, if they want to be like that, then don't shop there. Like, I don't know about the cash, because even myself, I'm like, wow. I'm like, well, so I got a bunch of pieces of paper that are all worth different.
Yeah, denominations. Firefly Farm says, did you talk about the water from the nuke plant? No, we have not talked about the water from the nuke plant. Livingston, man. There's water from a nuke plant somewhere.
Hundreds of thousands of gallons of radioactive water. Now, okay, the headline is really loud, and then the story is
dangerous.
It's this same old story again. They were talking about.
So it's a less radioactive kind of nuclear wastewater, not a highly radioactive kind of nuclear wastewater?
Yeah, so...
Not all nuclear wastewater is created equal, apparently.
Gonna go super general nutshell here. So nuclear power plants work by using
Water.
radioactive isotopes to become superheated, and it boils. It's essentially...
It's a steam generator.
It's a steam turbine.
Yeah, they're just not shoveling coal into it.
Point is, lots of water involved here. Essential to the process.
Absolutely.
And it's cycled out and recycled, and all these complex things are going on.
Okay.
And around nuclear power plants, they have test wells dug at certain intervals all the way around the place.
Yeah, always testing the water, making sure nothing's getting out.
They found
Understandable.
they found a water leak where it was drifting away from the plant, but in the process realized that pushing 500,000 gallons
of water have already escaped from this thing, huh?
Right, and because water is, you don't just stop water; it goes where it's going to go, and there's nothing you can do about it, especially when it's underground.
Yeah.
In this case,
GSP, have a great night.
and then there's controversy because the company you don't have to report it when this happens until a certain 100,000 gallon water.
Oh, until a threshold is met, right?
And so now the community's mad because they should have been notified about this, and of course they should have.
Yeah.
But legally, everything was to the book here.
Okay.
And so again, a lot of doubt and
Well, the government said so.
a lot of doubt and shade is
I don't
being
believe it.
thrown at a lot of like essential infrastructures in America right now. There's the infrastructure with the
rail. Yeah.
stuff.
The rail
they're-
stuff.
We're showing off the vulnerabilities in the power grid, in the nuclear plants, in this, in that. The heavy stuff that makes America the world, whatever country you're from. These key infrastructure things that are
Crumbling. This is what a decaying empire looks like. Look around, guys. Look around.
Now, are we being shown this because it is the truth and this is an expose? Or are we being shown this as propaganda to promote a further agenda?
The green agenda? Yeah, I think so.
In that regard, then can we agree that in both viewpoints, the infrastructure is crumbling and needs attention?
Absolutely. You know, again, I hate to harken back, but Obama ran 2 terms on infrastructure, fixing everything that was broken. It never happened. Where did all of that infrastructure money go? And then Biden passed the Infrastructure Act, which was the Inflation Reduction Act, but it was really an infrastructure act that did nothing.
The Inflation Increasement Act, they were like, just don't call it that. Like,
okay.
Because come to find out, you can name a law that has nothing to do with what the actual law is. You're like, this law makes it so people die, and they can name it the law that makes it so
the Life
people
Act.
don't die.
It's the Life
Act.
Brad Pittless says it's all coincidence. Yeah, absolutely.
I should believe that. I don't see why I shouldn't.
What got fixed? That's what I'm saying, Vision. I don't know.
You know what
the
got
highways,
fixed? A good 7-mile stretch from the Rip Van Winkle to the Taconic Parkway. That shit got fixed. For the city, for the leaf peepers, you got what you wanted.
Fuzz Fork says we need new T-shirts. We survived. We all gonna die Wednesday. So I've actually been thinking about having T-shirts made for the bug out weekend. Maybe I survived Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival's bug out weekend.
If we can get them, it'll be a limited run at first, but we're going to try and get a hold of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's short term, short time span between now and then.
Now, talk about that first real quick, the Bug Out Bag Weekend.
Bug Out Bag Weekend. Bug Out Bag Weekend. Last weekend in April. What's the dates on that, Livingston? Can you pull up the little calendar for me, please, kind sir?
That would be
the 29th and the 30th of April. We will be in Ankrum, New York. In the description, too late. Vision Preparedness already shared the link.
Boom.
Right there. Check out the Facebook group. We will be in the woods. We're taking to the woods, man. Bring your bug out bag. Come test your gear out. That's the most important thing that you can do with your bug out bag is know everything in it, know how to use everything in it, and implementing it be second nature. Because you're going to use this thing in the most stressful time in your life, and you need to know everything in that bag inside and out. Where it is, how it is, when to use it, how to use it, and you got to do it, man. The only way to do it is to practice. So come on out, enjoy yourself for the weekend. In the woods, bring your bug spray. It's warm, it's spring, the bugs are out again. I hate to say it, the bugs are out.
Piggyback off what you said, one of the most comforting calming things I have ever been able to say to myself in my life is, I've done this before.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is where you get the chance to do it. You don't want to be, the bombs are going off, like the S is hitting the F.
Yeah, man.
And you are pulling your gear out of its plastic and you never seen it before.
That's
And,
right.
Wouldn't you know it? Pieces are missing and it's broke.
Yeah, yeah. So know how to set up your gear. Know that your gear is functional. You have set it up, you used it, you know how to set it up, you know how to use it, you know it's all together, you know it works. Because you're betting your ass on this stuff, right? So you better know that it works.
If you're a tradesman or an artist or whoever, like the biggest difference is the fear and anxiety going into, I've never done this before and I don't know what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
To even having done it once, you're the expert now.
Yep.
Like, you got this. Like,
Oh yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
So
you got it. You got it.
I
And
taste
the more you practice, the easier it's going to be.
yeah,
You know.
I can't stress enough. If you can make an event like this, and if you can't make an event like this, then make an event like this.
Right in your backyard. Just go outside, set your stuff up, and spend a couple of days living out of your bag. Obviously, you're going to sneak in the house and make yourself a sandwich, but then sneak back outside and rough it in your gear from the bag, right?
Just take a Friday night and bring a 6-pack and a book and go set up your tent and kick it. Like, whatever works, but like, do it. Right? I mean,
Yeah, man. With different strokes for different folks. Let's see. Mr. B Local says, be prepared for ticks. Lots of them. Columbia County is no joke. You are absolutely correct. I highly recommend pre-treating all of your outdoor clothing with permethrin, Sawyer's spray. You spray it on your clothes, you let it dry, it lasts through like 6 or 7
bright orange
washings.
can, right?
Yellow Sawyer's, fantastic stuff. The ticks don't touch it, burns their feet when they touch it, so they jump off right away.
That's how DEET works, too.
Yeah, but this stuff works better than DEET. The bugs up here in upstate New York drink DEET and then bite you through it. They'll lick it off your arm and then bite you.
You can hear them, like, you're hiding inside your bivy sack and you can hear the mosquitoes knocking. Trying to get you.
The Outlaw says, when you get older, every time seems like the first time because you forgot how you did it last time. It happens. It happens. Yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy going out. I enjoy living out of my bag and testing out new stuff out there, man. I always.
And it's, what do they call it? Like at the gyms, it's a stress-free environment. It's not like a bunch of like hard asses like think they know everything. Well, there's a couple of them, but it's a very welcoming community, and everybody's willing to share and learn. And it's I could go on forever about how great the community is. Like,
oh yeah. Everybody that comes to these
if
things
nothing
is fantastic.
else, like, I mean, to hell with our skill and our every other thing. But
Yeah,
just
good people to hang out with.
the love, shall we say?
Yeah, and Hunter will be there with Bud Light. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, that shit better have a rainbow.
Well, I saw he just put something up about Bud Light.
It better have
so
a
I
rainbow
figured-
on it.
Yeah. Oh, Vision, thank you so much. That is the stuff. The permethrin fabric treatment. It's fantastic, man.
Judgment-free zone. Thank
That's
you.
right, prepping
That's
mantis.
what I meant. Yeah.
Yep. If you want to come out and bushcraft your shelter, come bushcraft your shelter. If that's your bug out idea, come do it. The Prepared Irishman comes out and bushcrafts himself a shelter every time he's been out there.
Outlaw Jackson bought that chair he built, I think, right? Like, he was like a
Yeah,
boom where he like really needed that. He wanted it.
Had to have the chair. But yeah, man, there's so many different ways of doing things when you come out to these. Some folks just do the tarp. Some folks just do the bivy sack. Some people, their idea of bugging out is bugging out in the car with all of their camping gear, and they come and they car camp.
Kicked it in the back of the truck. I just look, well, this is probably the realistic, right? So we just slept in the back of the damn truck.
Yeah.
Whatever it is you think your plan is going to be, this is your chance to do it in a safe, controlled environment and see if it's going to work.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing. It's a controlled environment. There's people there to help you. We're not going to let you fail. Your gear might fail, but we're not going to let you fail.
Yeah. Hunter, I usually only use one-person sleeping apparatus just for that question.
Indispersion says, if you want to test your gear, volunteer for a mission with Grindstone Ministries. Amen. Them boys are putting in work, my friend. I wish I could just leave life and work and family and go help those guys. But that's real world implementation of your gear. You're going to a disaster zone, and if you're going to go to one of those disaster zones, I would highly recommend that you be the most prepared individual there. Take care of yourself first. You don't want to go there and be a burden on the system. Make sure you bring food, water, shelter for the duration of your stay, wherever you're going, including the Bug Out Bag weekend events. You're going to need that stuff no matter where you go. So, but yeah, definitely check out Grindstone Ministries. Hook those guys up as much as you can, even if it's a like
buy
and a
them that
share.
virtual coffee if you can. Like,
Yeah.
Those guys are out here doing quite literally the Lord's work.
Yeah. When government fails, citizens rise, and they are some of the few citizens that do, and don't look for anything in return. They just go to help and to just help. You know, these people need help, and they are the help that these people seek. So hook them up, man. Hook them up.
Always put the table by the window. I cannot stress this enough. If I
Don't
walk
put it by
in,
the door.
If I walk in your bug out shelter and you didn't put the table by the window, I'm kicking your whole shit down. And
Yeah,
you're
we're gonna have to break
over
this all down and reset it
because
up.
you obviously ain't been paying attention.
But guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Totalitarian Tuesday. Let's see, Jay Creature says, Permethrin Tractor Supply in the horse section.
We got ivermectin
Well.
too.
Just throw out some more keywords. Gosh. Consider the stream nuked.
We're only looking for keywords. Certain
Keywords.
hashtags that would trigger the algorithm.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. Smash that like button if you don't mind. We really appreciate it. Helps support the channel. Livingston, man, give him a bram, will ya? Again.
Rest in peace, headphone users. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that. Absolute big
Yeah,
heart.
be safe. Be safe. If you can't be safe, be dangerous. We will catch y'all tomorrow on a We All Gon' Die Wednesday. Livingston, man, kill that shit.